Hello everyone, welcome to ManojWeb, where my goal is to make your front-end life easier. In today's video, we're going to be creating this cool hover effect using HTML and CSS for the One Piece anime and live action cast. So, if you're ready to get started, let's start! Alright, so let's get started. First, we need the upper container to hold all of our containers. We'll have 6 containers, 3 for anime One Piece characters, and 3 for the live action versions. Within the upper container, we'll have a container which will hold the background, a div for the background, and a div for the character. This will be Sanji's. It'll have an image for Sanji. It'll have a div of text which will just have his name, and an image for a div for description which will hold his role and a quick summary. And we'll do the same for Luffy and Zoro. We'll have a div of BG, div of character, and div of text and div of description. And we'll repeat that for the live action characters. So live action Sanji, live action Luffy, live action Zoro. And that'll finish our HTML, and we can move on to the CSS. In the CSS, we'll first have the basic structure. With the root, we'll have a variable for the border radius of all the containers. We'll set the box sizing of all elements to border box. And we'll just be centering everything using display flex on the body, and just set a dark background color. Then we'll set the upper container to display of grid and create 3 columns. So in each column there will be 3, one for Sanji, one for Luffy, one for Zoro the right hand man on the right. And we'll have the container and the BG of the container. In the container, we'll set a specific size. We'll set the border radius, make it position relative, so we can use position absolute on the BG, and do display flex to center everything, and then transition on the transform, because we'll be modifying that when we hover over the container. On the BG, we'll do instead of 0, which means top, right, bottom, and left are all set to 0, which means it will take up the whole space, and give it a background of a dark color with 0.4 opacity. We'll give it a box shadow to make it look cooler, add the same border radius, and a Z index of -3, and transition. And then we'll add the character itself and modify the image. So for the character, we'll also make it position absolute and instead of 0 to take up the whole space. We'll center the image in the middle, and add a transition on the transform as well. And then the character image, will just make sure it takes up the height, not the width, and make it position relative. And then we'll target the text and description individually and then together. We'll target the text, we'll set its font size and top, and do the same for description. And then for both of them, we'll transform them out of the screen. We'll set their width to 200, opacity to 0, position absolute, text line center, and then transition them to transform, add a transition of transform and opacity. And then finally, we'll change the color based on the character. So if it's Luffy, the color will be a red, or a lighter red color. For Zoro, it will be lighter green, and for Sanji, it will be yellow. This is what the website looks like right now. Sanji, Luffy, Zoro, and their live action cast. And then we'll just add the hover effects. So when you hover on the container, it'll move slightly down. When you hover on the container, the BG will turn darker. The character will move up and get a bit bigger, scale 1.2. And the text and description, they'll be visible and they'll move to the center or move to their positions. So if I were to save this, go here, Zoro, live action Zoro, Makenyu, right hand man. Live action Luffy, Iñaki Godoy, the captain, in the middle. Live action Sanji, Taz Skylar on the left. Taz Skylar, Black Sanji, Monkey D Luffy, and Roronoa Zoro. Right, so I hope you enjoyed the code and you learned something new. Next, I have a few updates. First of all, Socializer, where I'm creating a website from scratch. I'm going to post the next part either next week or in 2 weeks. So that will be coming soon. You can look out for that. And I've gotten a request to start a HTML and CSS basics series, like teaching HTML and CSS from scratch. And I'm planning to start that. Put your ideas in the comments on what I could do to improve for that, or what I can change in that, any styles I can change. And I'll try to implement that in my videos. I hope you enjoyed. Make sure to like, subscribe, and share. And see you next time.